Hello everyone, this is Friar Rick at Assumption. I'm here in the one of the kitchens at the Friary, and I want to talk to you about something that's very serious and very important, the COVID vaccine. Some of you may know that I am part of the trial for the Pfizer vaccine at Upstate. I got vaccinated in September and then again in October, the second dose. I've had no side effects, and until recently I didn't know whether I got the placebo or whether I got the actual vaccine, and a couple of weeks ago I found out I did in fact get the vaccine. I've had no side effects, nothing wrong. The only thing was on the second shot, my arm did hurt quite a bit for about a day. I did that because I believe that we all have to do our part, and there's not much that I can do, but I could volunteer to be a participant in the trial. And what happens now is we're followed for 2 years, and if there's any side effects or any problems, we will be several months ahead of the general population so that they can see. But up to now, things are really, really good, so I'm very excited about that. I'm very deeply concerned because people have said to me that they are hesitant about getting the vaccine for two reasons. One is because some people have said, well, the vaccines are made with fetal tissue from aborted fetuses, and so that's wrong and they don't want to do that. I've had people say to me, and I mentioned this in my homily on the weekend, people have said to me even, I don't care what Pope Francis says, I'm not doing it. Well, we have to really step back a little bit and be clear about facts, okay? So first of all, when we say that the vaccines are made from genetic material from aborted fetuses, that's not necessarily true. The Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine, for sure, are not made from genetic material from fetuses. They're not DNA based. They're, I think it's called mRNA. It's a messenger cell that helps communicate between the virus and the healthy cells. So for sure, right now, any vaccine you get in the United States is fine, okay? The AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine and the Chinese Canadian vaccine, I think some others maybe have used this line of cells. So basically, there was a fetus that was a child that was aborted in 1960 or 66. There was tissue taken from that fetus, from one organ, I can't remember which organ, I think maybe even the kidney. And since then, that one of those cells has been replicated. And they use the cells to grow other cells in them, like the vaccine. It's no longer the cell of that child, it's basically cloned cells. And once the other cells, the vaccine cells, grow, the original or the cloned fetal cells are destroyed by the vaccine. So you don't get any fetal tissue in the vaccine. There's none of that in there. Beyond that, the Pontifical Academy for Life, which is kind of the official pro-life, life issues scientific advisors to the Pope and to the Holy See, have in 2005 and again in 2017, before even this pandemic started, have mentioned that the relationship between what is the product and the original fetal tissue is so far removed that there is no problem. There's no kind of, we're not cooperating or supporting or affirming abortion by taking part, and that the need is so great. So it's very important that we be clear about that. The other thing is that the Church also recognizes that there is an urgent need. And so beyond the scientific reality, and Pope Francis has affirmed what the Academy of Life has said, and they've come out, the Holy See has come out and said, you can take any of the coronavirus vaccines, it's okay, right? So that's clear. And there are people on the internet and there are people around who are saying, well, no, it's still wrong. It doesn't matter what the Pope says. It is very, very risky when we set ourselves up as better than the Pope or holier than Mother Church, right? We can have issues of conscience, we can have dissent, we can have our personal opinions. I have my opinions, but we also have to follow church teaching. And church teaching is not just doctrinal declarations, but the ordinary magisterium of our bishops and of the Holy Father, especially when he's trying to save our lives, right? The other issue that I've heard is younger people who are concerned about infertility, and they've heard that the virus causes infertility. Again, that is something that is more of a myth attached to a tiny bit of reality. There is an element of the process for making the vaccine, and this is from the BioNTech company in Germany. One of the researchers mentioned, well, there's a similarity with a component that might possibly cause infertility. And the way I've seen it discussed in scientific journals is as if somebody said, well, I like apples, but I'm allergic to them, so I'm not going to have oranges. They're two different things. They're both fruit, but they're different. And because I'm allergic to apples does not mean I'm going to be allergic to oranges. In the same way, this variant, this element of the vaccine that is similar to what is may cause infertility are not the same. Beyond that, the study that I'm in has involved 37,000 people for the Pfizer vaccine. Half of them have received a placebo, half of them have received the actual vaccine. Up to now, Pfizer has found that out of the 37,000 who were all tested before not to be pregnant, of the 37,000, 24 have become pregnant after receiving the vaccine. 11 of them were 23,000. 23 have been pregnant. 11 of them were from people who got the placebo, and 12 of them were women who received the actual vaccine. So 12 women got pregnant after taking the vaccine. So, I mean, the odds are, because it's almost the same level as the placebo group, that it does not affect fertility at all. I know we have to be cautious. I mean, it is an urgent situation, but I want to encourage you, especially the elderly and those who are frail, to please get vaccinated. We need it not just for our own sake, but so that we can stop the transmission. Because even when others get the vaccine, I may not get it, but it takes a while for me not to pass it on to other people. And supposedly the vaccine goes through our bloodstream first, which prevents us from getting terribly sick, but eventually goes to other parts of our bodies, and including our nasal area. And so when the virus gets into our nose, it stops it from infecting us, and thus stops us from infecting other people. So if we're all in this together, we have to do our part. So, and I know the supply is not great. President-elect Biden has promised to amp that up, and hopefully we'll see what he can do. But once it becomes available, please get vaccinated. Anyways, thank you very much for listening. I'm sorry to be going on and on, but I think this is not just our civic duty, but it's our religious duty to take care of one another. God bless you, and talk to you soon.